Hey there YouTube, KS Cuber here, and welcome back to another unboxing today. This is going to be part 2 of the huge Jhahoua Rubik's unboxing series. Basically from him, a lot of his spare cubes that he didn't want or were trying to sell, bought them, and now I have a bunch to unbox. It's pretty crazy, tons and tons of cubes. Without further ado, let's get into part 2 for today. I think that's about the same recording setup I had for yesterday. Let's get on to the box. Let's go for the bottom left box today. We went for the top right at first. Let me move this off here so we move this box over, and let's get into this one. I duct tape over my address there so that won't be on video. I don't think anybody can enhance from how blurry it was right there. Let's see what we have here. Let's pop out the knife here. In focus. Let's get right into it. As usual, very well taped up here. It's all the way to the side. It's pretty heavy duty packing tape. Not sure what kind of stuff you got here, but it's pretty darn good. Yesterday was pretty crazy with all the different cubes we had there. I'm looking for a pretty dense box here soon because there should be more than just the 50 some per box that we had the last one. So let's see if this one's the one. If not, either way, we'll have lots of crazy cool puzzles to look at here. Really is kind of a crazy show and tell type thing because I don't even know exactly what some of these puzzles are. Bought them quite a while ago and I'm just now getting to see them. So this is pretty crazy. Let's get into box number 2. Let's pull off the top wrapping here. We cleaned up the stuff from the last video there, and there's a puzzle. Make sure not to throw out any that are in the wrapping. I will go back through it just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. And there we go. I'm already dropping stuff. And look at that. I know RPK Vids collects a lot of these snakes, but I found these cylinder ones are really hard to find, and here one is. Pretty cool. A off-brand Rubik's snake type puzzle, and let's see. Wow, that's pretty cool. Some people definitely know more about these than I do, but as you can see, that one has the Jhahoua branding on it, the same place that makes the super big, and actually that one yesterday, I bet that cube was a Jhahoua, not a Mosey. I've seen the Mosey versions, but that is a Jhahoua pineapple cube on there, so that's pretty interesting. Let's zoom back out here and refocus. Let's see if I can make this into a ball pattern and see what that does on a circular snake. Yeah, that's not going to work at all compared to how a normal one works. Let's see here. Then you go like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just doing this completely wrong. Yeah, pretty cool though. Circular snake. I have to figure out what kind of cool patterns you can do on that. I know on a normal one, I know how to do the ball pattern. And I know my younger siblings are really into the snake puzzles. They like playing around with those. But this one's pretty cool. I have not had one of the cylinder ones before, so this will be interesting to play around with. And it's vintage, and for the collection, pretty cool. Okay, moving right along. Here is another package, and this one has some of the smaller picture cubes in here. Let's punch in for those a little bit. As you can see, this is kind of interesting. This is a Jimi Hendrix promotional cube. Let's see, there's a date on there, 2008. So interesting, a lot of these kind of promotional cubes I found, I have a Star Trek one, are larger. This one's actually smaller. I'd say it's around probably 35 millimeter, 40 millimeter, somewhere in there. Pretty neat. A little bit bigger than the normal small cube, but a little bit smaller than the normal big cube. And next up here, we have a SpongeBob cube. I'll have to see if there's a date on this one. I feel like all these are solved. That's pretty impressive. 2011, and Designware brand, Viacom. See the turning on this one here. It's pretty fantastic. And by that I mean not that great. Because it is a non-tensional mechanism and it's just a little promotional cube. Pretty nice shape and interesting. Another one here. This is a smiley face cube. That's quite a smile there. Emoji cube or just a smiley face cube? I think this is a smiley face cube because it's old. Here you go. Let's try an algorithm on this here and see how well it works. The face on the top is flipped. Somebody solved it and didn't know the flipping algorithm. Of course, I'm not sure if I'll be able to figure it out either here because it is super weird and hard to turn. But let's see if we can pull it off. Might have already failed. Nope, I didn't. Good. Okay, and there we go. We should be solved. And a sticker came off my thumb there to figure out how to re-glue that. There we go. Smiley face cube. Not much use solving those little cubes, but they're interesting for the collection. You can fit quite a few on a shelf. Okay, next up here. Oh, that's pretty cool. I have not had one of these puzzles before. Let me zoom back out and focus back up here. Not had one of these before. This is called a Hungarian rings puzzle, and I believe this may even be an original one. I'll have to look on the back there and see if I can find a date on it. And I'm trying to figure out how to solve it here because we have one black ball there and a blue one there. Not gonna try solving this video, But as you can see, that's probably the original one. That's pretty cool. They still make these today, and they're sold in a couple different places. Copyright 1982, made in Hungary. Made right around the same age as the Rubik's Cube, and not Twisty Puzzle per se, but pretty cool. Hungarian rings. Basically, these rotate, and you try to get them each color in the right spot there. Looks like it was solved at one point, but it's a little bit scrambled right now. Okay, next up here, we're going to have a bunch of picture cubes in here, as I thought this might be the box for that. As you can see, this is a Disney picture cube of some sort. See if there's a date on there. 2012. Disney, made in China. Bunch of different Mickey Mouse and similar characters. And actually this one, surprisingly, is made on a speed cube of some sort. I'm not sure, it's not a good speed cube, but it is a speed cube nonetheless. Not one of those dollar store mechanisms. So that's pretty impressive. Let's see if it's actually tensionable. Yeah, there we go, as expected. I don't know, you just never know where you're going to get with these picture cubes. Occasionally, they are speed cubes, like this one, which is kind of odd. Okay, next up here, let's see what we got. We have a shape mod of some sort, and not solved. I believe it's a Lane shape mod of some sort. And is it based on a 3x3? I'm not sure. It seems, nope, it might be a 4x4. If it is, it's a really clicky 4x4 mechanism. That's really interesting. Doesn't have ball bearings, but it almost feels like that. I believe it's made by Lane, and it may be the Lane 4x4 octahedron or something like that. I don't know all the names of these. But as you can see, it rotates on this axis, and then it has like the extra ones there. So it makes it a 4x4. Very cool. I don't think I have that one yet. Next up here, what do we have? We have another picture cube, and this one is a Chicago picture cube. So the date on there, billcointl.com, and does not have a date on it. But as you can see, I believe these are just kind of some skyline or just general Chicago pictures. Ooh, there we go. Dad grew up in the Chicago area, so that's actually pretty cool. I'll have to show that to him. Not sure how old it is, not super old, and let's try turning. Because I can already tell this one does not turn that bad compared to some of the dollar store type picture cubes you find. I don't think it's tensionable, but it could be. Yeah, doesn't turn too bad. Doesn't feel as quality as a Rubik's brand, but it's definitely not a super cheap like dollar store mechanism. Okay, next up, another small puzzle of sorts. Let me figure out what it is here before I talk about it. Oh, I see. Okay, it's a hand mod. This is it won't really be called a barrel because it's not very smooth. So it's just I don't know. What do they call that thing when you have the cut sides? Hexagonal? I don't know exactly. Either way, there it is. And maybe octagonal because 1, 2, 3. Yeah, octagonal. There you go. Kind of dumb sometimes. Octagonal 1x3x3. There we go. Hand mod. Not super well done, but not bad either. Okay, next up here we have a bit larger puzzle. Has a little bit of weight to it. This is an original ITC Rubik's 4x4. Rubik's Revenge Cube, if you want to go by that naming scheme. Zoom in here a little bit. ITC 1982, made in Hong Kong. Have one of these, new in box, and this one also looks new. Has probably never been used. As you can see, Rubik's Revenge puzzle on there. A lot of bubbles under the stickers on these. Pretty sure that just happens over time or something similar. But I have one of these, and it also has bubbles under the stickers, even though it's brand new. So interesting, the original Rubik's 4x4. I actually have one of these that turns really well, so. It is possible to speed cube a Rubik's Revenge puzzle, unlike the new Rubik's 4x4. The old one actually isn't too bad. Oop. Catching a little bit there, but you can finger trick it if you set it up a little bit. This one here is not very well set up, and that's likely because it's never been used before. Has the old color scheme too, white opposite blue. Pretty interesting. And next up here, what do we have? We have the best speed cube of all time, the original Rubik's brand. And this one actually, you know what, this has been set up, so it's not bad at all. That's pretty interesting. It has a little bit of catching, which I would have to get used to, but I'm pretty sure I could solve that just about as fast as any other speed cube. That's pretty funny. I'm not sure what people put in these. I believe like some sort of silicone lubricant or even something like, what is the old thing? Vaseline. Just put Vaseline in these cubes. This one feels faster than that, so I'm not sure exactly, but I would say that I can actually speed solve that. So let's try that out. Let's not put a timer on the screen, but let's try and give it a quick solve just to see here. Just so I have at least one solve in this video. I'm not sure I'll have any more speed cubes in this whole lot. I'm sure I'll have a couple, but this is an original V1 Rubik's Cube with stickers. Actually getting sort of hard to find at this point because they have all the tiled Rubik's 2.0s around now. Okay, that's probably a sufficient hand scramble. Not great, not bad. Let's give it a try. Let's make the camera there a little bit more focused out. Let me do a quick inspection here, and let's go. Ready, set, go. So the camera stays in focus. It's not going to be a crazy solve here, but it should be fairly quick. This cube is not all that bad, which is pretty crazy for a Rubik's brand. I only have a couple. Oop, man, I'm screwing this up. I only have a couple that aren't bad compared to how bad they usually are. This one you can actually finger trick and do other stuff, and I probably knew that OLL. Probably should have done that. But anyway, under pressure, first solve of the day, Rubik's brand. There we go. Solved. Cool. I don't find a lot of Rubik's brands that are actually solvable straight out of the box. One's obviously been set up by somebody. And actually we'll have to check, make sure that's not an original Rubik's Speed Cube. I don't think so. It looks too plain for that. Or some with removable center caps that are made like 2006-07, sold from Japan. Okay, anyway, here we go. I believe this is called a Lane Diamond. I like that it's in pink. That's really interesting. And also does not have stickers on it, which is kind of interesting. So this is going to be a shape-only solve. But there it is. Lane, or whatever brand that is. Diamond Cube. Pretty neat. I don't have one of those yet. Pretty small puzzle also. There's another small puzzle. Wow, it gets smaller and smaller. Wow, there we go. That's cool. Okay, let's zoom in here. First of all, compare it to a normal Rubik's Cube. I think it's super tiny. I believe it's called the Tower of Babylon. It's a cube made in the 80s. And this is the keychain or pocket version. I've been looking for one of these for a while. I really like the keychain or pocket cubes. I have some other ones, which I'll show in unboxing eventually, that I picked up a while back that are more of these. But here it is with the gradients and all. That's really cool. I'm not sure if each layer turns. I'm not going to force it. I think maybe just the center layer turns, even though these ones sort of seem to turn. So I'm not sure exactly. I'll play around with that more. But there it is, an original keychain, or at least small mini version of the Tower of Babylon. Very cool. If that's what it's called. Hopefully that's what it's called. Okay, here we go. We're on to the next puzzle here. And we'll see exactly what this one is. There we go. And I don't know what this one's called. It's a pretty cool puzzle. Whoops, I'm zoomed all the way in there. That's fine. But anyway, cross cube. Look, I don't know. There's a few different names I've heard for this one. I don't know what it's called. It's a Kelvin's puzzle, and it's basically a 3x3 mod where it has extra pieces, kind of like a Megaminx one that I have like that. Let's see if I can figure out how to activate one of these extra piece moves here. Now, I don't even know how to start on this puzzle, but there is a way to do additional moves with this. And actually, let me try this quick. If I can get rid of this catching. Make sure I don't pop it, but there is something crazily catching there. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Don't think it would be if you move that there. Okay, well that's lined up there. I don't know. It's pretty difficult to get to go into that mode unless you know how. But this will like turn in a strange way because all those extra cuts. It has 4 extra on each quarter and 4 extra on each piece. Just 3 extra on each piece. Or some pieces. Nope, all the edge pieces. Interesting. I don't know much about it, but I will learn eventually. Apparently originally made by Pitcher, which I forget what his first name is. Brain's not working today. But it's a puzzle by Pitcher there. Okay, and next up. Wow, those are bigger than expected. I've never actually had one of these Mad Heads puzzles before, but I've heard of them. They're a 2x2 shape mod, and definitely larger than I thought. When I first saw these, I assumed they'd be kind of like the Star Wars cube size, which is about half that size. These are pretty substantial. And turning is not great, but it's not horrible, and they feel pretty solid. I don't know exactly what these are, or when they're made, or what the whole deal is, but you can get them fairly cheap on sale some places. Mad Heads, never had any before. Not sure what they are. Just 2x2 shape mods with a crazy face on them. Probably have some more in here too as I keep going through them. Okay, next up here, ooh, a cool Mefferts puzzle. And I don't know how this one works, but I can tell the middle layer is trying to turn on me already. It's like a shell puzzle with all kinds of crazy colors on it. Okay, so it turns like that, and it'll still turn like that. Wow, that is really crazy. It's it doesn't quite make sense, but it reminds me of some of those crazy 3x3 shape mods crossed with a square one because it has that slice turn through the middle. Very, very odd. And Mefferts apparently. I don't know what it is. It's pretty cool. Okay, next up here, this may be another Mad Heads, or it may be something else. And yes, as I thought there, another Mad Heads. As you can see, some sort of crazy head, 2x2 shape mod. Pretty odd, pretty interesting. I wouldn't call it cool. It's pretty odd. There we go. And if I had to guess, another Mad Heads, just from the size and feel and weight of it. And no, I'm wrong. That's how these videos go sometimes. This is a Lan gear dodecahedron, gear something or other. It's a gear puzzle of some sort. And it has the Oscar Van Deventer logo on there. And this is definitely one I don't have yet, which let's see. Yes, it is a dodecahedron. So it's like a gear Megaminx, I suppose you could call it, even though it's probably not technically correct. Lan gear puzzle of some sort. Pretty nice shape, pretty cool. Don't have a lot of gear puzzles, and I don't have a lot of interest in them, but they are pretty cool in their own ways. Some people are really into them. Okay, next up here, and here we go. We have a full-size Tower of Babylon. Let's see if all the layers move. Yes. So I'll have to see on the pocket one to see if all the layers actually move on that, or if it just is the center layer. I mean, that's possible. But either way, here it is. I actually don't have one of these yet, so that's pretty cool. No markings on it at all, and I'm not sure when these were made. I'm pretty sure they still make them today, but they have been made all the way since the 1980s, from what I know. Tower of Babylon. It's kind of cool how it has the gradients there instead of just standard colors. Just an oddball and interesting puzzle in general. Okay, and if I had to guess here, I'm not going to say it, but it's probably another Mad Heads. And there it is, the orange one with the creepy eyes. Well, that's pretty weird. 2x2 shape mod, turns. There it is. Mad Heads. Like airheads or something. I don't know exactly. I don't know what's up with those. It's pretty weird. Okay, here we go. We have another non-cubic puzzle. Or a what do we call it, puzzle? Ah, that's cool, 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 cool. Look at that. First of all, there's a barcode on it, so I wonder how old this is. It says 1982 on there, and made in Japan. That's pretty neat. Great Gears by Tomy. Ages A and up. I believe they did have barcodes in the 80s. Wasn't around back then, but from what I've heard. So I guess that does make sense. Must have been a pretty early barcode system. Great Gears by Tomy. And this is crazy that's in the original box. I really like original box stuff here. Have to be very careful with it, so I do not actually wreck it. There we go. This could be one from the 90s or something, because the copyright date could just be 1982, and it could be a non-original. Wow, that is a cool puzzle. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit here, because it is a larger puzzle. You can see it just fine. A normal zoom thing there. It's so shiny. Look at that reflection there. That is super cool. No idea how you do it. I guess there's a wheel on the side here. Wow, that is super cool. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be one of the coolest non-twisty puzzles I've seen in a long time. Tomy, made in Japan. Great Gears. In the box. That is super awesome. No original instruction manual, but other than that, very, very cool for the collection. I don't collect a lot of non-twisty puzzles, but when I do, they have to be something kind of neat, and that certainly is. That fits the bill just right. I would pick it up in an instant at a garage sale, antique store or something. And now we're back to the Mad Heads. Here we go. He's very mad. I'm turning him. He is 2x2. Oh, wait. Ah, aligned it. There you go. Now we're aligned. And now he's a brain. And now he's back to 2x2. I don't know what's up with these. Here it is. Pretty weird. I'd call it weird heads if it was me, but sure, mad heads it is. Okay, and I guess another one. And this is this one. So I guess we have the full set here. That's pretty interesting. I thought about buying them once because I saw them on sale for like, I don't know, $2 or $3 each a while back. But I just did not pull the trigger on them. Now that I know they're this size, it is kind of interesting. And just, I mean, who came up with this? I actually know the inventor. I heard his name once. But anyway, there it is. Another Mad Heads. Odd shape mod. And that rhymes. I could make a rap out of it if I had some other lyrics. Okay, next up here, another Mad Heads. I'm just going to keep going crazier with it. But anyway, there it is. Crazy teeth, crazy brain, slime and goo, and very textured and large and weird. Let me put it next to a Rubik's Cube here so you can get a sense of scale. This isn't one of the biggest ones. But literally, it's a 57mm or 60mm 2x2. So that's pretty huge. Okay, I'm going to get mad if there's another Mad Heads in here. Let me see. Nope, it doesn't feel like one. So I guess we're lucky. We've gotten away from the Mad Heads. Anyway, here we go. We have another gear puzzle. I'm looking for a brand name on it. There is no brand name on it. And it's not a super gear puzzle or anything. It's just a normal gear puzzle. Must be an aftermarket of some sort. Triangular. I probably shouldn't offend people. Pyraminx mirror puzzle. Mirror puzzle. Man, I'm about an hour and a half in for filming, so I guess that makes sense. But anyway, here we go. This is a Pyraminx gear puzzle. That's what I meant to say instead of mirror puzzle. Oh, and that's a telltale sign of a cheapo thing, or at least it's not a great quality one. It skipped a gear there, and now that one's turned, so I'm going to have to fix that. Cool. Looks cool, for sure. I don't know a lot about them and not super crazy into them. But here we go. Let's keep going. And here we go. We actually have a speed cube in here. as I was hoping. Oop, there we go. I can do my crazy algorithm, do a key perm, all that kind of stuff. It's a carbon fiber cube. And I have one of these already, but I'm not sure I had this exact one. It feels pretty good. I believe it's based on like a, very loose also, YJU long mechanism, something like that. I believe it's one step older than the ones that are based on like the MF series mechanisms. Pretty loose, turns pretty well. It's a carbon fiber 3x3. Cool beans. Next up here, we have a dual pack job. So I'll take out one at a time here. Another Rubik's Picture Cube, and let me try the algorithm there to flip the logo, because it bothers me when logos are not flipped correctly on cubes. Probably just me. Well, I'm sure some people have that same OCD, or what do you call that? Rubik's NFL with the Bears, Chicago Bears. Whoa. I'm not into football at all, but I know that the team around the house is the Green Bay Packers, and I believe the Bears is the rival or whatever that whole thing is. I don't know. I'm not into football, but pretty cool. We have the enemy cube. Or if you're into the Chicago Bears, the great cube. There it is. Cool. Okay, next up here, what more do we have? Another picture cube, another Rubik's brand. This is the Denver Nuggets, and it's a basketball cube. NBA. Cool. I should have known that by hearing Denver Nuggets. Oh, no, the logo. Of course, it's probably flipped correctly, because, I mean, like that. Yeah, that's probably fine. Anyway, there it is. Denver Nuggets basketball. A little bit more into basketball than football, but I like playing it, not as much watching it. Interesting. Cool Rubik's brand. Rubik's brand gets a bad rap, but at least their picture cubes are pretty nice. First of all, you can speed cube them if you want to, if you actually lube them a little bit. And secondly, no other brand makes picture cubes quite as nice as Rubik's. A lot of them are dollar store or similar. These ones at least are pretty solid. So, I don't know. Rubik's gets a bad rap in the speed cubing game, but for picture cubes, they are fairly decent. Okay, another one here. We have another NBA cube. I can't read that. Something conference. Eastern Conference, that's it. NBA Eastern Conference, Rubik's Cube, Chicago Bulls, and basketball. Cool. I have a ton of different team picture cubes. I've been picking up a few of those from time to time when I see them, but I don't have a lot of them. I now have a lot of them, so that's cool. Okay, next up. Oh, these are a little bit cooler right here. I'll set that one aside for a minute. First off, we have the Los Angeles Lakers NBA cubes. I'm more into these than the football, because like I said, I like basketball more. Pretty cool. Whoops, and there you go. Other camera is out of storage. I'll probably put this in manual focus. There we go. Once it gets close, I'll have to replace the battery in this one. But other camera is out of storage, so I'm pretty sure I'm just going to switch to this camera for the rest of it. It's about the same as the other one. I mean, it's a little bit less quality camera, but it works pretty well. So anyway, back to that. Los Angeles Lakers cube. And next up, this one is really cool. I'm going to figure out exactly what brand makes this. I don't believe it's Rubik's, but I've been looking for one of these cubic world cubes for quite a while. Namely the black one, but I believe this is a 1980s original globe cube, and it's not the circular one that Rubik's makes. It's a square one. I believe it's aftermarket, and actually doesn't turn too bad at all, but it feels more solid than like a dollar store, and I'm pretty positive that's the original 1980 globe cube, and of course my battery ran out there, so there's the old one, and now we're on a new one, so that's great. Little battery in those, so it doesn't last crazy long. Luckily I have a bunch of extras. Okay, next up, wow, that is quite a design for a cube right there. Crazy arrows going all directions, holes that go straight through the cube. If I had something, let me try to find something long enough. And we could probably put it right through the center there. Yeah, it's a void. That's pretty interesting. I believe it's a 2x2. Is this a 2x2 void cube? Wow, it is. That's really neat. I don't know what the heck this thing is. I've never seen one before, and it's super cool. Look at that. That is weird. That's awesome. Okay, I don't see a brand on it either. Let me look at it for a minute. Nope, no brand on there either, so that's unfortunate, but very cool. 2x2 void cube. Who would have thought? I think I've seen one before, but a different design than that one. Very neat and interesting. Okay, and next up here, this is pretty cool. Look at that. That's another original 1980s. This is a Taiwanese or other similar country like that knockoff Rubik's brand cube with also knockoff Pac-Man on it. That is something else right there. Turns pretty well. Wow, that turns impressively well. That turns better than any Rubik's brand I've tried before. For a 1980s original weird knockoff cube, that thing turns very, very well. Very interesting. I forget the brand that usually made those. Wonderful Puzzler? Something like that? There it is. Very cool. I always like the stuff that's from the original wave of Rubik's Cubes. You don't find a lot of it these days. You have to look at antique stores and all that. And it's just kind of down to who collected what. Wow, that's pretty cool right there. We have a baseball cube there. Too Lucky with the tiger thing on there. K-ball. That's what this thing's called. A K-ball. It's a 2x2 shape mod, basically. Which is pretty interesting. And this turns like that. It turns pretty well. It's not going to corner cut or anything like that. Maybe a little bit. A little bit of corner cutting. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. K-ball. I'll have to look into those. But pretty neat. I'll have to figure out a place to store these ball puzzles. Otherwise they're going to roll everywhere. Oh no. Rise of the ball puzzles. Okay. Next up here, we have another football cube here. NFL cube. A Broncos. Okay, there it is. It is the Denver Broncos football cube. Also, somewhat vintage. These are all like from 2007, somewhere in there. They still make some of them today, but not all of them. And that's pretty cool. Had a big collection of them here in these cubes. And here we go. Another modern speed cube. We don't have a lot of those in here, but this is a Xingqiao Pearl Mega Minx. It's pretty decent. I actually have a magnetic one of these. That was my main for a while. They're pretty good. It's one of the better Xingqiao puzzles. I can't double flick a Mega Minx. I don't do Mega Minx very often, but I do like Mega Minx. I average like 210, something like that. There it is, Xingqiao Pearl. Nice subtle ridges on it. I kind of like it. Next up here, we have another looking vintage. Wow, that is super cool. I don't know what exactly it is. Bloomberg. So like Bloomberg, the newspaper maybe? Yeah. I have to look into that a little bit. LPAD, and it says Rubik's right there. It does have the .com logo, so it's probably late 90s or something, but it has like all the F keys, like for a keyboard, escape, and also a dial pad. Very interesting. Late 1990s. Let's look into that one a little bit. Okay, next up here, can't dwell too long in one cube. This is pretty cool. Most picture cubes you see are 3x3. This one's a 4x4. And what is it? There's planes, ice cream, the world, butterflies, the sun is all happy, and then there's cars. I don't know exactly. It's an Ishin, 4x4 I'd assume, or a very similar mechanism. And just all in all, that is a super cool cube. Who's seen one of those before? Like an Ishin picture cube. Very neat. I think I've seen some Ishin picture cubes before, just not very many of them. Okay, next up here. This looks like a clock. I don't have a clock right now, so if it is... Yeah, there we go. That's super cool. I did not have a Rubik's clock, never have had one, and now I have one. That is super cool. Oh, and I've messed it up. Go back. Okay, there we go. I'll have to learn how to I'll have to relearn how to do clock, but as you can see, this original 1988 made in China Rubik's clock made by Matchbox. I actually might have one of these in a box somewhere. I don't remember. But I know that I don't have very many clocks. I don't have any Ling-Ao clocks right now. I traded those all away. And now I can finally try out a Rubik's clock. And it has been popped open, so I wonder if this one's been lubed or set up or anything. Maybe I'll get a clock. Maybe that's my next new big thing. I have no idea. Pretty cool, though. I did not remember that was in here. So if you see that unwrapped puzzle at the bottom here, let me autofocus quickly. There you go. That was not unwrapped. I actually had to open that from the bottom. We needed some packing material for something. So I grabbed some of this newspaper that was in here. So that was not unwrapped like that. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Okay, next up here, and that's pretty cool. I didn't even know the scope of different puzzles that Mosey made. But here is another Mosey puzzle. And this one is some sort of crazy ball puzzle. Is it a skewb mechanism? I can only guess that it's probably a skewb mechanism. Unless it's 2x2. But it doesn't seem like the cuts are right for that. I can't really zoom in on this camera quite as easily, but let me autofocus a little bit closer. There it is, a Mosey Skewb mod ball puzzle. Very cool. I like the old logo too. And then a lot of Mosey cubes, like I mentioned before. Even though they're a very well-known vintage puzzle manufacturer, at least 10 years old or something. And here we go, another Rubik's Picture Cube. This one is for the Sacramento Kings, apparently. And is it NBA? Yes, it is NBA. Okay, cool. Rubik's Cube puzzle. Actually turns, nope, still catches pretty bad. First turns there seems pretty good, but it turns decently for a Rubik's brand. To adjust my autofocus again here. It's not quite as easy on this camera. That's why I like using another one more. That one's just got a ring. And here we go. I guess we do have another cube. Wow, what is up with this one? It feels weird. Go to autofocus again and focus on that. This is a Thunderclap V1. And that is very well set up, first of all, because it turns very well. Also, I'm trying to figure out if it's magnetic or opposing magnetic, or there's something weird about it. Anyway, let's scramble that up and give it a quick solve. There's something that feels pretty weird about it. It's either set up kind of gummy or old school or something weird there. It just doesn't feel like a normal thunderclap to me. Weird. Wonder if it's magnetic or something. If it is, it's very light and it's a kind of odd magnets. Okay, anyway, let's get into solve here. Ready, set, go. That's kind of interesting there. Got F2 all pair right away. Can do that. Back. Yeah, kind of through the camera or sort of off the cuff. So that could be a great solve, and I didn't insert that last cross edge. But there you go. Nope. And there you go. Yeah. Not great solve, and a G-perm to finish it off. There you go. Chi Thunderclap. Always like those. They were good cubes back in the day, and still good cubes. This one feels kind of odd. It turns weird. So I can't quite explain more than that. But there it is. Speed cube. Didn't know there were a lot of those in here. Okay, next up here we have a Moyu Devil's Eye Cube, I believe is what this is called. I don't know, there's another name for him. Moyan, I believe. I've never had one of these. I don't know exactly how it turns. And there you go, that's pretty interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 faces on each side. So this is a 5x5 shape mod? I don't know. I've never used one of these before, never tried one of these before. I don't know anything about it, but it's pretty cool. It's a Moyan 1, I believe. This came out before Moyu became pretty famous for their speed cubes. I believe it came out around the time of the... What is Moyu's first speed cube thing there? It's escaping me. But anyway, early Moyu. Okay, next up here. Pretty hard to find puzzle right here. This is a super, if that's what it's called. 2x3x3. I believe the center part rotates somehow. No, so that one rotates with it. And this one rotates without it. That's what I thought. Okay. So this one rotates where the center stays put, and this one rotates with the center. It also rotates the bottom center there. Pretty interesting. I don't remember what it's called, QJ Super 2x3x3 or something like that. Pretty cool. Don't have one yet, or if I do, I don't remember having it. I may very well have one of those, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, next up here we have a Super Gear Cube, if that's what it's called. And actually, that's pretty interesting. No, it's not a Gear Cube at all. That is a 3x3. That's interesting. I knew they made one of these, but basically it's a standard 3x3 that looks like a Gear Cube. And actually, since I'm not very good at Gear Cube, even though it's the easiest puzzle ever, I could actually solve this better than a Gear Cube, probably. And it could probably be my one-handed main, too. Is this WCA legal? I mean, with the weird shaped pieces and stuff? That would be something to know. That's pretty crazy. Yep, anyway, it turns a little bit floppy, but it turns just like a normal 3x3. That's probably one of the cooler 3x3 mods in my collection, just because it looks like a Gear Cube. That's very odd. I knew they made one, but I've never seen one in person before. Okay, next up here, we have an actual Gear Cube, and let's see if I can flex my Gear Cube solving knowledge. No, I'm not going to be able to, because I completely suck at Gear Cube. Because this one needs a bit of a edge swap there, but anyway, oop. Yeah, Gear Cube. It's an aftermarket one. I can solve a Gear Cube, but I'm not very good at it, I have to say. I don't solve them often. Whoa, this is going to be Gear Cube Central today. Look at this. Okay, it's another standard off-brand Gear Cube. I thought it might have a center slice or something like that, because I have one like that. But there it is, another Gear Cube. A little bit different one, a little bit stiffer, a little bit different brand. It's got painted on stickers, I believe, as well. And here you go. This is pretty cool. This is a Meffert's Challenge Pillowed Pyraminx. I could try to do Pyraminx turns. Now this one's pretty stiff. But, ooh, there you go. Pillowed Pyraminx. I have one of these already. They're hard to come by, and Meffert's doesn't sell a lot of them. They come back in stock occasionally. Otherwise, pretty hard to find. So I'm glad to have another one of those. Pretty cool. Pillowed Pyraminx. I'm pretty sure the only Pillowed Pyraminx that's ever been made. Somebody correct me on that if they know differently. Okay, next up here, another one. You know, like I was saying with the Rubik's the Gray Cube there, Rubik's doesn't actually sell like different colored plastic cubes, but they do for some picture cubes, so that's why I find these fascinating. This one, obviously, the purple, I was going to say pink, man, I'm just losing it. It's obviously a purple cube, and it has a lot of different colors on it. It's got nice stars and ladybugs and flowers, so I think it's more aimed towards girls, but doesn't matter for me. It's good for the collection, and it's a purple Rubik's Cube. What more can you want? A purple Rubik's brand. Pretty cool. I like the different colored Rubik's brand ones because technically, or no, what word am I looking for? Usually they don't have that kind of stuff. They don't sell standard 3x3s in different colors. Okay, well this is kind of interesting. This is a non-functional magic because there's a string hanging off it. I'm assuming it doesn't work. But this is original Matchbox Magic, but this is the special pattern one. I don't remember exactly what the deal is with this one, but I have an original Matchbox Magic, and I've also heard of this one, and this is a different than the standard Matchbox Magic. It's pretty cool. I have to see if I can repair it. I'm not sure if I can because I'm not a magic person. I don't know anything, but that's pretty cool. Original Rubik / Matchbox pattern, different pattern magic. I knew they made some of those, but there one is. Okay, next up here we have a floppy cube, and let's see if this is a super floppy. Actually it is, just because it's internal stickers, you can tell that. It's definitely been lubed or something. It turns a little bit gummy, but as you can see, this is a original Lan super floppy cube. Pretty cool. 3x3x1. Gotta make sure nothing's rolling off the top there. Wow, we still have a lot more to go here. Let me keep on moving, keep on trucking. We have NHL hockey. That's interesting. Don't know anything about hockey at all. Detroit Red Wings. I cannot say R's and W's in the same sentence. I don't know what that deal is there. Red Wings. Detroit Red. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, NHL Western Conference Rubik's Cube Puzzle. There you go. Pretty cool. And I can do that. Oh, there's another heavy one at the bottom there. That'll be interesting to see. Is that the usual 11x11? I'll have to see once I get down there. Here we go. That's an interesting cube right there. Wow. Is it custom? It's either custom or pretty poorly done because that side's completely screwed up and stuff is coming off of it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that be. This is a sequin cube. It's got a dollar sign, which is upside down at this point. If you do it like that, no, I guess that's upside up too. Heart, skull, I guess, and arrows and arrows. Yeah, it's all sticky and gooey and sequiny, and I don't think it's a brand name one, but I guess I'll set off to the side. It does feel, it actually is a Rubik's brand cube. That's really interesting. So I don't know exactly what kind of Rubik's cube that is, but there it is. Interesting. I like touching gooey, sticky stuff like that. And here we go. That's interesting. I don't believe this is original Rubik's Tower cube. I wonder if it's a hand mod or if it's a... Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a hand mod. That's interesting. Look at this. That's a Shengshou 2x2 mechanism there. And it just makes a faux Rubik's Tower cube. Top layers don't move at all. They're completely glued in place. But, I mean, you can do the checkerboard pattern. Put a zoom on there. A couple different ways. Oop. Let's undo that. But it's just made out of two Shengshou 2x2s. Oh, and I screwed that up. And I screwed that up some more. Apparently I cannot uncheckerboard a 2x2. Oh, let's try this again. Nope, and I screwed up again. Okay, well, there's the Eternally Checkerboard Shengshou 2x2 mod. Interesting. And next up here we have, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about before. Everybody get excited. It's the limited edition Rubik's Revolution. Okay, now it felt like I had to get excited for that one. There we go. It's a crystal type Rubik's Revolution. I have a bunch of these. I don't know what the deal is with Rubik's Revolution. I'm not that into them. And this is the limited edition. Whoa, it's super rare. Pretty cool though, I guess, for the collection. It's good to have at least one, I guess. Okay, next up here we have some more picture cubes, and these ones, at least this one here, is pretty cool because it seems vintage, possibly. We have an NHL cube, another one here. Let's see if I can find the team name before I butcher something. The Buffalo Sabres. Interesting. Yes, and this one also feels like it could turn fairly well. It turns better than some of the other picture cubes there by Rubik's Cube Puzzle. Cool, cool. And next up, this one does seem to be vintage. Let me see if the turning confirms it. Yeah, definitely seems to be made on like a magic puzzler or something similar. And this cube will baffle you. This cube will make you go insane. Because look, it looks scrambled. It's a two-solution cube, obviously. And I guess I could scramble into the other solution here quickly. Or I should say solve it into the other solution. Let me do that while I'm talking. But it's kind of interesting. It has all the different names of different colors on each side, and they're not the correct names for it. I bet you can memorize the actual scramble that it's in when it's in its first solved state. You could probably solve it pretty fast, aside from the poor mechanism, which it is pretty poor. It is okay to turn, but it's not great to turn. As you can see, I'm using finger tricks, but those are somewhat difficult. It doesn't require full hand turns, but it's not a great mechanism. Have to see if it's tensionable or not. Oop, G-perm, man, I hate G-perms, I hate G-perms. Is that the song? I don't know. I don't really hate G-perms that much, but it's just kind of funny that I keep getting G-perms in the video. I hate N-perms worse. Okay, anyway, there we go. And I guess this needs some orientation or, yeah, that's just annoying. I'm sure there's other people who would be fine with this, but this is not fine Yeah, that's interesting. Two solution cubes are kind of annoying. The mirror block's one I can live with because at least it looks like the shape, but that one's just like downright weird. Okay, next up here. This looks like the Shengshao soccer ball cube, but I don't see the Shengshao name on it anywhere. Pretty cool. It is a soccer ball cube, or a football cube for you guys in the rest part of the world, or people who call it football still. There it is, little 2x2 shape mod. Looks interesting. Okay, next up here I see a Rubik's logo, and it's the late 90s Rubik's Cube right there. This one says cpsiatracking.com on it, so it must be an advertising cube, and I was right. There you go, landscape structures. It must be a custom advertising cube. So it's probably early 2000s, if I had to guess, and turns pretty well, actually. Certain years of Rubik's brand cubes didn't turn bad at all, which is really weird because a lot of the later ones did. It must have been tolerances or something there. I mean, it's barely doable one-handed, but if you get it aligned and everything, it's actually pretty usable. And of course, this is unset up, straight out of the box. Rubik's promotional cube. Certain ones definitely turn better than others. Some Rubik's brands are absolutely awful, obviously. Okay, and next up here, we have another NHL, which I don't even know what that stands for. National Hockey League? Probably. New York Islanders, I believe is what that is. And there it is, another hockey cube. I know even less about hockey than I do about football and basketball. Probably know it's popular in Canada and probably in the US too. So there it is. Cool. And next up, we have another Mosey puzzle. Very interesting because I didn't know much about Mosey before, and now I have a lot of Mosey puzzles. So it's really cool because I've always liked Mosey. They're just really hard to find their puzzles. I'm not sure if it's a Scube mod or a 2x2 mod, but either way, interesting, and it's scrambled. So I'll just see if I can solve that sometime. Okay, next up here, we're going on to the next puzzle. Oh yeah, this one's pretty cool. This is the key cube or something like that, something similar. Where's the keyhole on it? Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that. I think there's a keyhole somewhere in this cube, but it is, maybe it's just a weird cube. It's pretty heavy. Let me take a look at the mechanism here quickly. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with that one, because there's one that uses a key that looks sort of like that, but I don't think this is the one, and it's definitely kind of odd. Let me see a star right there, and otherwise it's a little bit heavier than a normal cube, and doesn't turn that great because it's a snap-together mechanism. Pretty heavy though, feels fairly quality. I have to figure out what that is. Interesting. Okay, sort of getting to the bottom here. I think we have about 10 more cubes to go, which is good because the video is going pretty long, as the last one did. And wow, we have the king of all Rubik's Cubes, the Rubik's 2.0. Doesn't turn too bad. I'm pretty sure this must be like a first batch Rubik's 2.0 because it has the old logo on there. And also, I'm not sure if this is going to be the tensionable one. It feels different than the new batch, which is interesting. And it doesn't turn that great. I can make Rubik's 2.0s cut like 60 degrees and stuff, but this is definitely not one of them. I might actually make a tutorial on that if anybody wants to see how to make your Rubik's 2.0 speed cubable. I guess. I don't know. I use them for underwater solving and all that since they're the tiles. But otherwise, they're not as interesting as the old Rubik's brand for me. Okay, next up here, we have another NHL picture cube for the New York... Can't read that. New York something. New York Rangers. There we go. I was going to say Pangles, but that doesn't sound right. So Rangers, there it is. NHL, New York Rangers. Man, I'm going to offend some hockey fans here, but NHL, pretty cool. Another Rubik's Cube there. All the picture cubes seem to be in excellent condition. The guy had them before, Jhahoua, probably didn't sell them very much, which is cool. Okay, next up here, this is kind of cool. This is a somewhat vintage Rubik's Disneyland Cube. Look at that. You got Stitch, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck on there with signatures and all. Walt Disney World. It's a promotional cube, probably from the gift store. Here's what I'm saying about some Rubik's brands turning okay. This one might even be a tensionable one. It just doesn't feel that bad. Let me see here. If I can get one of those caps off. Okay, well I'm pretty sure they're glued down, but if I had to guess, I'd say this one is tensionable. As you can see, it's not on the tightest tensions, and I believe you could probably get one of those center caps off and actually get some corner cutting out of it. Either way, doesn't turn too bad, and Disneyland promotional cube. Interesting. Okay, next up here, we're on to the next cube and getting to the end. Here's a cool sticker mod. That is actually one I don't have yet, and this is an 8-color cube, I believe. There's green and also green, so that's kind of odd. Yeah, so there's some similar colors on it. But as you can see, it turns like a normal 3x3, but looks more like a 2x2. And I don't know what kind of cube that's made on, but the cube actually turns pretty well. Let me check the mechanism on that real quick. Yeah, that is an early mechanism of some sort, but I'm not going to be able to ID it, I don't think. It doesn't have a recognizable brand name on it. It might be like an early YJ cube or something. There you go. Got a piece out. Yep, looks like an early YJ cube of some sort. so nothing super crazy, but definitely a very good speed cube for what it is. I wonder if it's like a knockoff YJ mechanism or something like that, maybe cube style. No, I don't know what other brands are that make those, but anyway, turns pretty well. Very, very speed cubable. An interesting hand sticker mod. Okay, on to the next one here. Man, my voice is going on already, and we're only 2 boxes in, so this is gonna be a fun day. I'm filming all these videos in one day. By then, I might be like, okay, I'll stop with that. But anyway, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Right now, my voice already feels like it's going out, and we haven't even started yet. Okay, here's another cool picture cube. I'm really excited to go through all these picture cubes. I mean, I don't think most people are into picture cubes. I like them. I think they're pretty cool for the collection and all that. And just looking at it, feeling it, this one is pretty solid and also turns pretty well. So I wonder, I don't think it's a Rubik's brand one. It doesn't have any Rubik's logos on it. And it might be tensionable if you get that out, but it's a Planets cube. So there it is. It feels better than most of the dollar store cubes. And it also turns better than most cubes that are like that. Pretty cool. We're going to have quite a shelf of picture cubes by the time we're done with this. Okay, next up here, we have another basketball NBA one here. This is the Detroit Pistons NBA Rubik's Cube puzzle. There we go. Same age as the others, I assume, and another basketball cube. Try to breeze through those. Here we go. This is interesting. Let's see. Yes, this is a hand mod here, and it's also one of those QJ. Just soak in that sound. It's so beautiful. Okay, I'll try not to irate you with anything more there. But anyway, here we go. We have a 4x4 sticker mod. It's got the, how many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one side. So it's probably a 12 color cube, or maybe they mirror them. Hard to tell, but anyway, a hand 12 color 4x4. Actually be cool to solve. I like solving 12 color cubes compared to the normal 6 color. And that one's a pretty neat one. Okay, next up here, what else do we have in the bottom of the box? We have some more picture cubes right here, kind of a little handful of them. Let me just go one by one, so let me set them over here. First up, we have kind of a dollar store feeling shape cube, and doesn't turn too bad for a dollar store cube, but does not turn great at all. It's a snap together mechanism, pretty catchy, as those usually are. White plastic, and all one color. Pretty interesting, different shapes. Okay, on to the next one here. We also have another dollar store type cube. This is a Mickey Mouse Disney cube, but dollar store variety. I could test turning on that, but I assume it does not turn very well. Okay, next up here. This one seems still scrambled, I believe. This is a Minnie Mouse, another Disney cube. Let's see if it has a date on it or anything. Probably doesn't turn very well either. Nope, absolutely horrible. Snap together, little promotional cube. And next up here, another little snap-together promotional cube. This one looks like a Sudoku cube, but it's a mini one. And it turns better than the other ones, but doesn't turn very good. It's about 30 millimeters too, which I haven't mentioned on those. That's the standard mini cube promotional deal. So there you go. Okay, now just about to the end of the box here. We have 2 big puzzles in the bottom. I'll get to those at the end. Before that, we have an original 1990 Square One. I don't remember what brand made these exactly, and actually it wasn't super clear when I looked that up originally, I don't think. This one turns better than most of the ones I've had. It must have been set up a little bit. The stickers are very intact. These stickers like to come off pretty easily. They're kind of papery stickers, but it's original, 1992 or so, Square One. Very cool. I actually have a pretty good collection of those going now, even though they aren't super common, because I pick up every one I see. And here we go. We have a Diancheng case cube, 3x3 shape mod. Very odd one at that. And you can do the checkerboard just like that. Yeah. Diancheng makes some pretty interesting shape mods, if that's what brand this is, which I think it is. Case cube. I have a couple of those also. Okay, and now we're to the bottom. And like I said, that one was packaged. I just unwrapped it because I had to use the packaging for something. Wow, that doesn't sound like I expected. I actually know what that is now that I've heard the sound. This is a tower deal. It might even be by Rubik. I don't remember exactly. But here we go. And I thought it was missing a piece at first. It's not missing a piece. It's just right down in there. I have to fish it out. Oop, just push it down farther. Pull that out. I forget what this thing is called, but it's sort of like a Sudoku thing where you have to try and get every single one of these things aligned correctly. Go to autofocus so I get sharp. And there we go. I do not have one of these right now, and obviously it's not really a twisty puzzle. Okay, there you go. It's by Think Fun. I'm not going to turn it over on camera because it's going to not go very well, but it's called the 36 Cube, the world's most challenging puzzle. Goal, build the cube so that one of each color is represented in every row and column. How many towers can you place? Think Fun. That's the brand on it. So that's all on the bottom of it. I'm not going to turn it over because all these would fall off. Ooh, and I'm going to be careful bumping it. But as you can see, they're all even right now. It is solved, and that's the solved state. Pretty interesting, and I think the kids will have fun with that. I have some younger siblings, and they love that kind of stuff. So they'll have fun with that. I'll probably give that to them. Okay, well, I thought that was going to be the Yushin 11 by 11, but it turns out it wasn't. But this here is exactly what I thought it was. The MF8 Petaminx. This is a 8 layered equivalent. It's like an 8 by 8. This is like a 9 by 9 version. I said 8 by 8. It's like a 9 by 9 version of a Megaminx. Look at that. I don't have a Petaminx yet. The Shengshao is out, and I definitely will be getting one of those here fairly soon. But Josh had a few of these, and I really wanted to get one. So I got a great deal, and here it is, an MF8 Petaminx. I'll have to see and test the turning on it. Wow, turning is actually really impressive. I've heard they have popping issues and stuff, but I've heard the Petaminx is the best turning out of the MF8 puzzles. First of all, it's very lightweight. I have the 17 by 17 over here. Let me do a size comparison quickly with that. See if I can grab it. You can pardon my head in the way here. Oh, man, that thing is a killer. Yep, okay, I gotta actually, let me just autofocus on that quick. I have to solve this one. Still, Yushin 17 by 17 versus the MF8 Petaminx. It's actually one-handable compared to the 17 by 17. Yeah, 17 by 17 is huge. But the Petaminx is also huge and a very cool puzzle to add to the collection. I do not have a Petaminx yet. Excited about that. Very cool. I'm sure the Shengshao will be slightly better, but there we go. Okay, and back to the overview right here. By my count, that last unboxing there was 79 puzzles. I actually didn't get an exact count because I started putting them out, and then I had to go to 57, and then minus some other ones off there. So whatever, confusing, crazy, whatever. There it is. There are a lot more puzzles. And that's why I don't miss an audio check. I missed the audio on the last little bit there. Hopefully I was close enough to the microphones in this camera where it's decent. I'm glad I was recording on this camera and not the other one. I've done that before, and that other camera does not have good audio. This one doesn't have great audio, but it's good enough. So anyway, I guess that's going to be about it for this video for today. Voice was gone. Second box in. That seemed like a good sign for the 3 videos. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe below. Thanks to Jhahoua, Joshua, call him that, Rubik's for sending all these cubes. On to the next day, another unboxing, everything else. Chaos Cuber, out. Goodbye. Chaos Cuber's also out.